My dear brothers and sisters, let us begin with a gentle breath, a moment to pause, a moment to notice the state of our heart. Sometimes life moves so quickly that we forget to ask ourselves the simplest, yet most important questions. Who am I becoming? What am I prioritizing? What am I neglecting? And among those neglected blessings, perhaps the most overlooked is the way we treat our parents and elders. We live in a world that celebrates independence, personal achievements, and busy schedules. But in that rush, something sacred can quietly slip away. The tenderness of a mother's sacrifice, the silent strength of a father's support, the wisdom carried in the wrinkles of an elder's hands. These are not small things. They are gifts. Gifts that shape us long before we learn to speak. Gifts that continue guiding us long after we begin walking our own paths. Sometimes respect for parents is not about grand gestures. It is about the tone of our voice, the softness of our words, the patience we practice when they repeat something they already told us yesterday, the humility of acknowledging that the ones who raised us once held our entire world together with nothing but love, exhaustion, and hope. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, when was the last time I truly honored them? When was the last time I made them feel valued, heard, respected? When was the last time I softened my heart toward the people who carried me when I could not carry myself? This reflection is not meant to make you feel guilty. It is meant to awaken something inside you, a deeper awareness, a return to intention, a reconnection with values that bring peace, purpose, and growth. Because respect for parents and elders is not just a cultural practice. It is a spiritual principle, a path toward humility, a way to purify the heart, a reminder that gratitude is not only spoken, it is lived. You see, when you respect those who came before you, you are really respecting the one who created you. When you honor the people who nurtured you, you are cultivating your own character. When you soften your heart toward them, you soften your heart toward life, toward growth, toward God, and toward your own purpose. But maybe you are listening now and thinking, what if my relationship with my parents is complicated? What if there is pain, misunderstanding, distance, or disappointment? And this is a very real question. Many people struggle with it silently. Respect does not erase the past. It does not dismiss your experiences. It does not require perfect parents or perfect children. Respect is simply a reflection of who you choose to be. It is choosing kindness even when the conversation is difficult. It is choosing patience even when the situation is uncomfortable. It is choosing humility even when your ego wants to respond differently. And this choice, this intentional act of honoring those who came before you, shapes your character more than you realize. Think of a small story. A young woman once said, "My mother keeps telling me the same stories. She forgets what I told her. She needs help with things that used to be so easy for her. Sometimes I feel frustrated." And someone gently reminded her, "Do you remember how many stories she repeated to you when you were little? Do you remember how often she listened to you even when your words made no sense? Do you remember how many things she did for you without ever complaining?" This reflection softened her heart instantly. Sometimes all it takes is a shift in perspective, A reminder that everything we give to our parents today, they once gave us in tenfold. When we were fragile, dependent, and unaware of their sacrifices. And our elders, those who carry decades of experiences, are not burdens. They are libraries of wisdom. They are reminders of where we came from. They are bridges between generations. And every time we show them respect, we are preserving something sacred, something societies lose when they prioritize speed over wisdom, convenience over compassion, independence over connection. Pause with me again. What is your relationship with your elders like? Do you rush past them? Do you dismiss their stories? Do you assume they have nothing left to offer? Because often the greatest guidance comes not from new ideas, but from lived experiences. A sentence from an elder can save you years of mistakes. A warning from someone who lived before you can protect you from heartbreak. A piece of advice whispered gently, without expectation, can realign your path with purpose, clarity, and inner peace. But to receive that wisdom, you must first show respect. You must first open your heart. And respect is not only in your actions, it is also in your presence. The patience you show when they walk slowly, the attention you give when they speak, the warmth you offer when they feel alone, the gratitude you express when they remind you of something you already know. We often underestimate how desperately elders crave appreciation. They may not ask for it. They may not show it. But inside, they want to feel that their life mattered, that their presence still matters, that their wisdom still has a place in the world. And you, yes, you can give them that gift, a gift that costs nothing but means everything. But there is another side to this. Respecting our parents and elders is not only about giving them honor. It is also about transforming ourselves. When you soften your heart toward those who raised you, you become gentler in all your relationships. When you practice patience with your parents, you become more patient with life. When you speak to your elders with kindness, you train your tongue to become a source of peace rather than tension. This is how personal growth happens. Not through dramatic moments, but through small, consistent acts of kindness. Through daily habits of compassion. Through moments when no one else is watching, but your heart is learning. Respect shapes you. It builds emotional maturity. It strengthens discipline. It deepens humility. It grounds you in values that last far longer than success, achievements, or public praise. And there is something else, something profound. How you treat your parents today may reflect how life will treat you tomorrow, not as a punishment, but as a natural cycle. Children learn from what they see. Communities mirror what they receive. Hearts respond to what nurtured them. And when you choose respect, you plant seeds of mercy, compassion, and connection in the world. Imagine your future. Imagine yourself aging, slowing down, needing help, wanting someone to sit with you, listen to you, honor you. The respect you give today builds the respect you receive later. It becomes part of your legacy, a legacy of compassion, a legacy of humility, a legacy of love that continues even after you are gone. Let us pause again and ask, what can I do today, just today, to honor my parents and elders? What small gesture would make them feel valued? What gentle word would soften their heart? What moment of kindness would bring light into their day? Maybe it is a phone call. Maybe it is sitting with them without rushing. Maybe it is saying, thank you for something they did years ago. Maybe it is forgiving them. Maybe it is seeking forgiveness for something you said. Maybe it is simply smiling when you greet them. These small actions are not small in the sight of the one who sees everything. And as you listen now, maybe your heart is remembering something, a moment you regret, a word spoken too quickly, a gesture you wish you had done differently. Do not let regret weigh you down. Let it guide you. Let it motivate you toward better choices. Let it awaken your purpose, your sincerity, your desire to improve. Transformation begins in the heart. Respect begins in intention. Growth begins in awareness. So ask yourself, am I living with the gratitude my parents deserve? Am I nurturing my relationship with them? Am I showing compassion to the elders in my life? Am I honoring the people who paved the path I walk on today? These questions are not meant to overwhelm you. They are meant to realign you, to remind you of what truly matters, to help you live with purpose, with inner peace, with spiritual clarity. When you respect your parents and elders, you are not only honoring them, you are honoring the values that elevate you as a human being. You are strengthening your mindset, refining your habits, and transforming your life through simple, intentional choices. My dear viewers, your journey toward personal growth, empowerment, and inner peace begins with the heart, begins with humility, begins with gratitude toward the ones who held you before you could stand on your own. And perhaps the greatest motivation, the deepest inspiration is remembering that every act of respect purifies you. Every gesture of kindness elevates you. Every moment of honoring your parents brings blessings into your life in ways you cannot imagine. My dear brothers and sisters, as we continue this reflection together, I want you to take another gentle breath. Allow your shoulders to relax. Allow your heart to settle. Settle. Let us come back into awareness, back into intention, back into a place of sincerity, because respecting our parents and elders is not only an action, it is a form of worship, a path of purification, and an expression of who we truly are. Sometimes we forget that our parents are not just parents. They are human beings. They have fears, weaknesses, unspoken wounds, old disappointments, and silent hopes. They did not always know what they were doing. They were learning life. At the same time, they were raising us. They made mistakes. Yes, just as we have made mistakes, but they also tried. And in their trying, there were sleepless nights, hidden sacrifices, and moments of exhaustion that we will never fully understand. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, have I given them the same compassion I expect others to give me? Have I seen their humanity with a softer heart? Because respect begins with understanding, and understanding begins with humility. Think of your parents not as the authority figures from your childhood, but as souls who struggled, grew, and did their best with the knowledge they had at that time. When you see them through that lens, something in your heart softens, the rigidity melts, the frustration dissolves, the compassion rises. And when it comes to elders, remember, every wrinkle on their face is a story. Every slow step is a lifetime of holding families together. Every pause in their speech is a moment of wisdom waiting to be shared. But in a world obsessed with speed, we overlook those who move slower. In a culture obsessed with youth, we dismiss those who have lived the longest. Yet true leadership, true personal growth, true spiritual maturity comes from knowing how to treat those who cannot offer you anything material in return. It is in your humility with the elderly that your character shines most clearly. Let me share with you another small story. A young man visited his grandfather every evening. He would sit with him, talk to him, listen to his quiet reflections. One day, someone asked him, "Why do you spend so much time with him? He doesn't even remember half the conversations." The young man smiled then and said, "Maybe he doesn't remember, but I do. And every moment with him is shaping me into the kind of person I want to be." This is the essence of respect. It is not about convenience. It is about becoming a person of depth, a person of purpose, a person who understands the dignity of every human being. And maybe you are thinking now, "But my life is so busy. My responsibilities are so many. My time is limited." And that is true for many of us. But respect does not always require hours. Sometimes it requires a moment of choosing patience, a moment of choosing gentleness, a moment of choosing to listen instead of rushing. If you can scroll on your phone for 5 minutes, you can call your parents for 1. If you can check messages throughout the day, you can send a small voice note to an elder saying, "I hope you're doing well." These tiny moments carry so much weight. They heal hearts. They uplift spirits. They remind people that they are not forgotten, because one of the deepest fears of aging is the fear of becoming invisible. And you, with your presence, your kindness, your acknowledgement, can erase that fear. But let us shift inward for a moment. Respecting parents and elders also teaches you something profound. It teaches you emotional intelligence. It teaches you self-control. It teaches you to hold space for others, even when it is inconvenient. It teaches you to listen, not to respond, but to understand. And all these qualities are the foundations of strong leadership, healthy relationships, inner peace, and personal transformation. If you want to grow in your mindset, begin with respect. If you want better habits, begin with patience. If you want a more empowered life, begin with humility. If you want inner peace, begin by softening your heart toward those who raised you. Sometimes the most powerful change in life does not come from learning something new, but from honoring what has always been in front of you. Let us reflect on something else. Many of us feel that parents are demanding. Elders are strict. They ask questions. They repeat concerns. They worry too much. But think deeply, why do they worry? Why do they question? Why do they insist? Because love and fear are intertwined. They love you so much that they fear losing you. They care so deeply that they fear seeing you hurt. Their questions may feel heavy to you, but they come from a place of wanting to protect you, even when they no longer have the strength to do so. So, instead of reacting with annoyance, respond with understanding. Instead of rolling your eyes, respond with gratitude. Instead of trying to end the conversation quickly, let your words be gentle, because you do not know how long you will have the blessing of answering those questions. There will come a day, and it comes for everyone, when the phone stops ringing, when the advice stops, when the concerned reminders stop, And on that day, you will look back wishing you had given more time, more patience, more kindness, more presence. Do not wait for regret to teach you what gratitude can teach you today. My dear viewers, if your parents are still alive, you are carrying one of the greatest blessings on earth, even if the relationship is imperfect. And if your elders are still with you, you are walking among living treasures. Even if you haven't realized their worth, but maybe you are listening and thinking, my parents hurt me. My elders misunderstood me. My heart is not ready. And that is valid. Not every story is simple. Not every parent-child relationship is easy. But respect does not require you to erase your pain. It only requires you to rise above it, to act from your values, not your wounds, to choose dignity over reaction, to choose compassion, even when the past is complicated. And remember, this truth respect is not about whether they deserve it. Respect is about who you choose to be. You are not defined by what others did to you. You are defined by how you respond today, by the choices you make now, by the person you decide to become with intention, maturity, and spiritual clarity. Let us pause again, because I want to ask you something simple. What do you want your heart to look like? What kind of person do you want to be remembered as? How do you want your future children or your community to treat you when you grow old? Every action is a seed. Every seed grows into a character. Every character becomes a legacy. And a legacy built on respect is a legacy that continues long after you are gone. So let this be your reminder. The way you treat your parents and elders is not only about them. It is about your soul, your growth, your inner peace, your mindset, your habits, your purpose, your entire life's direction. When you honor those who came before you, you step into a higher version of yourself. You practice intentional living. You cultivate emotional stability. You strengthen your spiritual foundation. You become a light in your family. You become a source of comfort and stability for those around you. And maybe, without even realizing it, you become the reason someone else finds hope. My dear brothers and sisters, the world needs more people who live with this kind of compassion. More people who slow down enough to show kindness. More people who choose humility over ego. More people who can give respect even when the world teaches the opposite. This is how we transform our lives. This is how we transform our homes. This is how we transform our communities. This is how we transform our hearts. So today, choose one small action, one gesture of love, one moment of patience, one phone call, one smile, one apology, one thank you, one prayer for your parents, one message to an elder, just one step, because one step can open the door to so much healing. And as you continue this journey of personal growth, empowerment, and inner peace, remember that the people who raised you and the elders who guided you planted seeds in you long before you knew what growth even meant. Honor those seeds, water them, let them bear fruit in your character, in your decisions, in your intentions. Your life becomes more meaningful when you honor the people who helped shape it. Your heart becomes lighter when you let go of ego. Your mind becomes clearer when you embrace humility. And your soul becomes more peaceful when you live with gratitude. My dear viewers, may you become a source of mercy for your parents. May you become a source of comfort for your elders. May you live with purpose, with sincerity, with patience, and with a heart anchored in compassion. And as you end this video, I invite you to carry this reminder with you throughout your day. A respect is not just an action. It is a reflection of who you are. It is a path to inner excellence. It is a doorway to spiritual serenity. It is a gift you give and a blessing you receive. If this message touches your heart, share it. Spread it. Let others reconnect with their purpose, their values, and their families. And subscribe for more reflections that nurture your soul, strengthen your mindset, and guide you toward a life of intention, growth, and inner peace.